does the opportunity to face a team twice in the preseason offer up for you and your team and what you're looking to accomplish?
Uh, who set the schedule? Basically, yeah, 2 preseason meetings. I don't know. I mean, I guess because we're close in proximity, it's good. So we don't have to travel too much. But Boston's a good team. They were a playoff team a year ago, and they obviously have plans to try and improve upon that. So they've had some guys banged up. We've had some guys banged up, but I think both teams, will play with some purpose tonight. And anytime you can play against NBA competition at a high level, I think it's good for you.
Are you at the point where you're putting in full sets and this is pretty much what we're going to see from the team, or is that kind of held off until opening night?
No, I mean, I think all teams, will evolve and grow over the course of the season. There'll be a base foundation of things that you start with. And then as your team, becomes closer together and they learn a lot more about each other, then there are things you can do differently along the way. So tonight won't necessarily be much different than, what we've shown thus far. But hopefully our players are getting more accustomed to being on the floor together. And, tonight with everybody available, that should help us.
Is that the Celtics, are they a team you kind of have to beat out if you're going to be a playoff team this year? I mean, is that an important team that you guys have to stack up against this season?
No, I mean, I think the Eastern Conference overall is better than people think it is. And so it's not so much about trying to beat out any one particular team for us. Like I said a couple of days ago, our focus just has to be kind of the daily process, which is pretty boring for a lot of guys and for all teams. But that's really where you win, is kind of just in the day-to-day process of getting better, taking practice seriously. And then, the results kind of take care of themselves. So we can't think about who we should have to beat out and who we're matched up against. We have to really focus on who we are, and I think we have a group capable of doing so.
Last year, early on, everything was about defense. Has it been like that this year too, or is it more about, I don't know, the familiarity? What have you guys been really honing in on mostly?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it always has to be about defense. I don't think you can really talk about, much of anything else without defense being kind of the staple, because it doesn't really, shouldn't really change, I think, from night to night in terms of the mindset, the intensity of it, the commitment to it. There's no basketball on that end, so you actually have to work together. The ball can't save you. So, to me, defense is what wins. But you also, I think, in where our game is being played right now, you have to be able to score the ball in order to have a chance to win. So, we're trying to improve on that end as well and be a more efficient offensive team.
Would you say you're further ahead defensively at this point?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really, I think, gauge your team based on what you've done in the preseason, because it's so different. Teams are playing differently, different minutes and guys. I think the first month of our season will, be an opportunity for us to really see, how good we can be defensively. But we feel like we have some guys that have a defensive mindset.
When you coached against Orlando for the first time, or last season when you coached against Orlando, did Kyle catch your eye, or was that more the scouts after the season? Because he, kind of a under the radar type player. Do you remember coaching against him, and something that struck you during a game? Or?
Yeah, no, I mean, you always hear his voice, so you're always going to know he's in the room. And that alone was why we were so excited to try and sign him this summer, because our locker room was too quiet.
Is that you being serious when you say that, right?
I mean, in some ways, yeah. I mean, I'm somewhat making a joke, but no, he does have a presence. He's a good passer, and he has some leadership qualities that are good for us. He's a big body. He enjoys competing, and so I think it was a combination of management, scouting, and for me, it wasn't until the summer really that I had the opportunity to focus on who is Kyle Quinn. And after much conversation, he was a priority for us.
I mean, when you met him in the interview in the summer, he was that loquacious,
No, he was a little more quiet, I think.
He was?
Yeah, he felt like it was more of an interview than
Okay.
being himself.
But I mean, so far, I mean, obviously we see it. I mean, has it been an effect? His
I mean, I think so. I think the guys could tell you more. They're in the locker room. They spend much more time with him than I do. But I do think he has an impact, and ultimately we'll just have to see how it goes.
Coach, are you encouraging Jose to take a couple more shots out there?
Always.
Okay, so I mean, he's got a great shot. You also were in his position a couple years ago. So, what do you need to do to encourage him to?
No, just keep reminding him that it's okay to do it. It's kind of against who he is. He's a team first. Make sure everybody else is doing good, and then I'll worry about myself. And that's the way point guards think. Our system doesn't rely on the point guard to make all the plays, and so I think he's just still making that transition from being a traditional point guard to just being a guard. And if you're open, you just shoot it. You don't have to think about getting 10 assists. It's just not your job.
And how have you seen it open things up when he does shoot the ball?
Yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal shooter. We talked about how he should be getting some technical foul shots, which I think will help him feel more comfortable shooting the ball. So maybe if we can make that adjustment, that'll get him one more shot per game, and then maybe it'll lead to 2 or 3 more shots per game.
Cool.
Coach,
right,
what have you seen, in the development of Chris, and is he ready to be a starting 4 in this league?
We're going to find out if he's ready. I think he has the ability. He has the desire to be good. He works at it really hard. And we do believe in the versatility that he offers our team offensively and defensively. And that's probably why he'll be out there to start the season as our 4, and then we'll see how it goes. Ultimately, what's best for the team is what decision I'll make. Nothing's set in stone, but I think Chris will have a great opportunity to start the season.